Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Alicia. This is sort of a Q&A, 1,000 subscriber kind of giveaway, excitement, whatever. I honestly never thought I would be here, and it wasn't even really my goal. So anyway, I asked on I don't even know what you call it, but I made a comment basically asking for questions, and those people who did ask a question are entered in a giveaway. So I have little slips of paper. So at some point during this video, I will draw names for the winner of the first box. I'm going to do 3 boxes of goodies, and the next 2 will be in an upcoming video. One may be sort of a stealthy one where I don't put it in the title. One will for sure be in the title. But anyway, very excited to answer some of the questions. And I kind of just spread them out. So some are about my channel, some are about personal things, whatever. So first one up, what is my job? And I am a science teacher. I have been teaching for 18 years now, which seems crazy. I started in high school and now I've been at junior high for 14 or so years. So science teacher. Question number 2, what made me start YouTube and do I enjoy it? So I started YouTube pretty much, my dad passed away and it took me like kind of 2 years to be back to myself. And I really don't know how I got onto Stitch Fix, because at the time YouTube was not on my radar. I would have been, no way, I will never watch YouTube, be on YouTube ever. So I'm not really sure how I got down this Stitch Fix rabbit hole, but that's sort of like, I was starting to come out of like, I don't know, my depression or whatever from my dad passing, and I was wanting to look a little better. And so Stitch Fix sort of got me into YouTube. And yes, I really enjoy it. And I only do it because I enjoy it. This was never a thing where I am like set out to be YouTube famous. None of that. That honestly, it almost makes me cringe. None of my family, besides my husband, but like my family back in Indiana, none of them know I'm on YouTube because I kind of feel embarrassed, as dumb as that sounds. So I do enjoy it. It's something I look forward to. I don't get as many boxes. I used to get a lot of subscription boxes, and so I kind of miss filming. Like I just had pretty much probably 2 weeks where there was really nothing for me to film, and I kind of miss it. So I was excited for today to have things to film. So absolutely, I still enjoy it. I will say my students found me this year, and that honestly, I've struggled. That sort of took a little bit of the joy out just because I feel like I'm more public and I have to be more careful in a way of what I'm putting out there. Because they could take snippets of these and I don't know, post them all over the place. So it makes me cringe a little bit that my students found me this year. All right, number 3, what country would I like to visit? Switzerland is coming up on our next big trip as far as out of this country will go. Kind of Switzerland, Germany, Austria. I feel like you can kind of do all of those in one fell swoop. Right before we had my daughter, maybe that like a few years before, we had really gotten to where we could afford bigger trips. And so we had done a couple out-of-country trips prior to having my daughter. We have not since then. My daughter just turned 8. So I feel like we're getting on the cusp or somehow, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I feel like we're getting ready to be able to take her traveling and go abroad. And so Switzerland has always been on my bucket list. And then one of my friends was doing a honeymoon in Germany. And is it the Black Forest? I don't know, but like they have like almost like Castle Row, the castle where they kind of inspired off Disney's castle. So I really want to go to Switzerland and just see all the nature and such. Number 4, something about me that would surprise you. I asked my husband what he thought, and he said rap. So in high school, I was really into rap, and that was really him and his friend's fault. Rap was nowhere on my radar, and then through working at McDonald's, I met him and his friends, and they were into rap. One of his friends had, I don't know, the Subwoofers or whatever they're called. So in high school, I really liked rap. And when I work out, I tend to work out to rap. But honestly, at this point, it has to be kind of softer. I don't like anything that screams at me anymore, so I don't listen to it as much. But in high school, I did. The other thing I wrote down is that, again, thanks to him and his friends, especially at this point, it's really only around him, but I definitely can have a potty mouth. But I'm good at using it in different places. Like, I never cuss in front of my daughter. Clearly, I don't cuss at my job. And so at this point, only some people hear me cuss. I feel like that's lessened, except for when I'm with him, and that just seems to be our style of talk, because I think that's how we started when we met. So those two things may surprise you. Number 5, how do I feel about 1,000 subscribers? Honestly, I feel blessed and I'm super happy. I honestly never thought I would get here. Like I said, it was truly never my goal. It was never my goal to be, I don't know, have YouTube be a job or anything. So I'm super excited. And I would say for the most of my time on YouTube, I didn't think it was even possible. And that was fine with me. And then maybe last year, I was like, okay, I'm going to get there. I knew eventually I would hit it just because I was, having consistent growth, small, but consistent. And so it was probably maybe a year ago where I was like, I think I'm going to make it. So I'm super, super excited, super happy to be here. Number 6, favorite box and why? FabFitFun, I think, for me, for sure. I think I answered this question in my last Q&A, and I think I said Stitch Fix. But honestly, I really love FabFitFun. I feel like they have the best brands. You get to customize it if you pay for the whole year. So I really feel, as far as a lifestyle box, they have the best variety, the biggest names. So I really love FabFitFun because for $60, I get a bunch of things that I would never just take $300 and go buy those items. So I really enjoy FabFitFun. I think it's a good bang for your buck. At this point, I don't get as many subscription boxes as I used to. And that is one where I can't see not getting it. There have been times where I've taken a month or 2 off before renewing. But at this point, I just love it. Of course, with any box, some times are better than others. But FabFitFun for me, I really love. Favorite vacation. And so this was, somebody was looking, they're trying to plan a vacation for their family. So this one's hard because vacations, I feel like, are very personalized. So we're a nature family. I've always loved nature. My husband loves nature. Thankfully, my daughter loves nature. So a lot of our vacations center around national parks, hiking, all of that. So I wrote down quite a bit. I mean, travel is huge in our life. It started with my grandma when I was younger, taking me on a trip every year. So if we're talking about out of country, New Zealand, I feel like if you love nature, New Zealand is a must. It is so beautiful. People are so friendly, and it's very countryish. We went to the south part of New Zealand. There's a North Island and a South Island. So out of country, New Zealand. And then I also loved like Scotland. We kind of did like a trip with my uncle. That was like our very first out of country trip. He helped pay. Otherwise, back then we couldn't have afforded it. But Amsterdam, Scotland, Belgium are all just wonderful. I want to go back to Scotland. The castles and Edinburgh was just great. But anyway, in-country vacations, again, so many of ours center around nature. So if you're not into nature, then this would not be for you. But it was right after sort of COVID had let up. We ended up doing Grand Canyon. And then they have like a Santa Claus train out there in Williams. And so it was Thanksgiving week, I think we did this. And so we did the train ride with Santa, Grand Canyon, which by the way is very cold in this winter. I don't know if I would recommend it. And then they have like a Bearizona where you can drive through. It's kind of like a drive-through zoo, and they have bears, and that was so cool. And so right there's kind of a lot of like tourist-friendly things. They had a place along the freeway where it was like feed the deer. We went out and saw my best friend in Minnesota. The North Shore of Minnesota was awesome. Again, lots of state park after state park, but Minneapolis is a great city with lots of museums. Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I would move to Tennessee if I had family there. I just love Tennessee. It really speaks to me. Gatlinburg is a great, like, touristy kind of, like, they've got little shows and museums, and then you have the Smoky Mountain National Park, by the way, is super busy, and you have to watch the times, pack snacks, because the lines getting in and out can be crazy. So I loved the Blue Ridge Parkway right there with all that. We kind of stayed in Gatlinburg and then drove the Blue Ridge Parkway to North Carolina. So all of those are very outdoorsy. I will say when my daughter was 4, we did the Disney World for like half a week and then went to a quiet, calm beach after. That was a really fun family combination. We also did like like Kevin, some of his relatives, my husband, and then we did a cruise, and that was really fun. So we're all nature. So if you're a city sort of vacationer, I don't have too many ideas for you. Number 8, likes about California and dislikes about California. So I spent 25 years in Indiana. So I was born and raised in Indiana. And then we moved to California. And I think I'll just, number 10 was how did I end up in California? So my husband not technically, was born in San Diego. He ended up moving to Indiana, but he has family in San Diego, and his first job, he got here. And so I followed him here with every intent that we would move back, and then that just never happened. All right, so back to California. Likes. No winter, and so it's milder. You can pretty much exercise, I would say, 350 days out of the year. We really don't get much more than 10 days of rain a year. Could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less. So lots of time to be outdoors. Let's see. There's so much to do. We are sandwiched kind of in between San Diego and LA, so Orange County. Lots of museums, mountains, oceans, anything nature, lots of trails. Let's see. I think that kind of sums up the likes about it. And so dislikes, traffic, everywhere takes so long to get. No family in the immediate area. So in Orange County, we have 0 family. We do have my husband's, somewhat of his family in San Diego. In the summer, it can take 3 hours to get down there, which would only be an hour and a half drive. So due to traffic, it's just kind of laborsome to get down there. Crowds. Everywhere you go, there's going to be crowds. If you don't get there early, it's just crazy. I do miss the seasons. I know I just said no winter. I miss the fall. I love the fall. For a long time, not having seasons really put me out of whack. I grew up with seasons, and that's kind of how I guess my body told time. So I think I'm kind of over that. But in the beginning, there was just so much sun. It just felt unnatural. So I do miss the seasons, although not winter so much. And there's less green here. I really love nature. I love trees. I love greenery. And California does not, where I'm at, have that many trees, and things are not green. So we have kind of a green season. Like right now, our hills are emerald green because of the rain, and that'll last for about 3 months. But then 9 months out of the year, our hills are brown, and it's just not much green. And of course, it's city upon city, so less green here. All right, number 9 was interesting, and I tried to think of an answer. What famous person would I love to have for dinner? And, I first kind of thought about just actors that I've liked over the years. Like Harrison Ford was the first one I really liked. I do not think he would make a good dinner partner. Maybe if I knew him, but he always seems like he's not super wanting to talk about Star Wars or anything. And so I think that might be an awkward dinner. And I thought about Alexander Skarsgård. I like his work. I used to, kind of had a crush on him when I was younger. But again, I don't know what I would say to him. So some person that I've sort of liked how she interviews is Kate Winslet. She seems very down to earth. I think she's only slightly older than me. I'm not sure how old she is, but I feel like we're within 10 years of each other. But I just feel like she might be like a big sister that has really good advice, at least from the interviews I saw. So I was trying to think of somebody who would have good conversation. Honestly, I hate talking to people I don't know. So I feel like this would be awkward no matter who I chose. Let's see. my question number 11, which so I already rolled in 10 with the other one. How long have I wished for 1,000? And I don't, to be honest, I don't know if I've ever wished for it. Like I said, about a year ago or so, I was pretty sure I was going to get there just from the trajectory, but you never know. Like, you can go up 10, down 10, up 10, down 10. So maybe in the last year, it was kind of on my mind, but in all honesty, this is just a fun hobby outlet I have. And so I don't, in the beginning especially, I did not wish for it. I really just accepted that it was not going to happen. But I am very excited and happy that it did. Let's see. What was my first video and Stitch Fix? I am, it was Stitch Fix. Now, sadly, you can't see that. So in the very beginning, I don't know why, but I would go through every couple months and delete a ton of my videos. I don't know why I did that. I really don't. And so you can't see that video. I wish you kind of could. But I started like old school style where I was just holding my phone, showing the clothes, holding it in the mirror. So it would be really cool to see, but I didn't save it on a computer and I deleted it from YouTube. And then the next question was when, and I don't have an exact date. The first or the oldest video I have is, I forget what month. I think August of 2018. That's when I stopped deleting videos. So my best guess is late 2017 or what did I say? Late 2017 or early 2018 is when I started. So around 5 years. Back then I only did unboxings, and for the first, however, whip stitch, I only did Stitch Fix. But back then, like, I am generally, even though I'm a teacher, I'm not shy in front of kids, but in front of adults, I don't like getting up and talking. So this was kind of hard, but when you're unboxing something, I felt comfortable because I was sharing it, I was talking about it. So I really didn't branch out until the last year, maybe 2 years, but the last year when I started doing videos on other things, talking about things that I'm passionate about. In the very beginning, I only did unboxings because I was uncomfortable doing everything else. And then the last question I got, which is also going to be hard for me to answer, is what high-end restaurant would I treat myself to? So I haven't been to too many chains that are like uber expensive. We have, we do kind of like Valentine's Day, our birthdays, we'll go out to a nicer restaurant. But unless you lived in Southern California, I don't know if anybody would know them. And for me, it's not necessarily about the name. I just want there to be good food. I love a meal where the flavors are like popping in your mouth, kind of like fireworks. And so I don't necessarily care about the price or whatever. I've never been to a Ruth Chris, but when my husband got a promotion, we went to Morton's. And I don't know how big of a chain that is. Honestly, it was a lot of money and I wasn't that impressed. So I don't think I have a good answer that people would recognize. We just went a couple weeks ago to, I think it was called Reunion Kitchen here, but I don't think anybody would know that. And I'm not even sure I'm giving the right name, but it was really good food. It wasn't super pricey. So we do treat ourselves every now and then, but they're mainly, I don't think, chains that would be across America. So I don't have a good answer, but at this point, I try to make sure the menu is something that I would like, because I hate spending a ton of money and then you're like, wow, this was not worth it. Anyway, I appreciate you guys so much. I can't believe I made it to 1,000. So thank you so much. And let's do our drawing for the first of 3 boxes. Alrighty. All right, let's see who we have. Oh, and we have Tina Palmer, if it's going to focus. Why is it not going to focus? I think she's been with me for almost the whole 5 years. If not, at least the last 3. So thank you so much, Tina, for being here so long. And my email, gosh, it won't focus ever. There we go. And my email will be in the box, which I think you might already know because I think you've won before. Anyway, congratulations and thank you so much.